YouTube, what's up? Today's video is covering my top 10 defenses for the 2017 NFL season. The previous video covered my top 10 offenses, so if you haven't seen that, please check it out. But on to the top 10 defenses. Starting at my number 10 is the Los Angeles Rams. Very good defense, actually. Probably would be better on this list if it wasn't for their offense constantly making them go on the field. Therefore, more chances to score on their defense, so they do so. But a very good defense, a lot of solid players. Aaron Donald, obviously, the feature guy of that defense. If I had to point out maybe a hole, they could use some more defensive backs, but pretty solid ones there. Tremaine Johnson, their lead guy at corner. On to number 9. My number 9 is the New York Giants. Team 2 years ago, they struggled because of their defense. And then just a year later, which was last year, they really stepped it up, a top 10 defense. Very good defensive line all across that D-line. Very good play. And in the secondary, you got Landon Collins and Janoris Jenkins playing at a very high level last year. Big reason why their defense was better. If I had to point out a hole in the defense, it would be the linebacker unit. Not bad. Could get better. But solid defense. So a big leap from 2 years ago to last year. So I expect another leap, maybe even better than number 9. But number 8, I have the Arizona Cardinals, a team that was surprisingly in the top 5 in defenses last year. With some injuries like Tyrann Mathieu, they're going to get him back. They did lose some guys in free agency, but they got younger and got very good talent in the draft with the Hassan Reddick. Definitely a guy to come in there and be a solid player right away. Maybe a developmental guy where he's maybe better he will be better down the road, but I think he'll still be solid early on in his career. And Budda Baker, who I liked a lot, first round grade on him. They grab him in the second. Really fits their defense. So I expect good things from the Cardinals this year. They are number 8. Number 7 is the Jacksonville Jaguars, a young defense. No holes in that defense. Very young, very talented. Grabbed some guys in free agency last year and this year. So a very solid defense. I like what they're doing on the defense there. Making sure that's all filled out. Now I'm guessing they're going to work on the offense. They did so by grabbing Fournette in the draft. But a very solid defense. A lot of young guys there. Really no holes. Really made sure everything was filled there for the Jaguars. So big step up I expect this year on the defense side of the ball. They come in at number 7. My number 6 team is New England Patriots. A team that's highly ranked on offense and defense. Very good players on the defense side of the ball. Did lose a couple of guys, including Logan Ryan, but they replaced him with Stephon Gilmore. Totally different corner. Gilmore, kind of hot and cold guy. Maybe he gets going again in New England, but I kind of prefer Logan Ryan. His play in New England was just great. A lot of tackles, very good ball skills. So I don't want to say they got worse, but I did not like them losing Logan Ryan. But still a solid defense, very balanced, great coaching, so they come in at number 6. Number 5 is the Baltimore Ravens. Already a good defense all the way through. Very, very balanced defense. Maybe they had a hole at corner. They go out and draft Marlon Humphrey to add to that already young and talented corner group. And then they draft more defense in Tim Williams and Chris Wormley when they already had solid guys there. Maybe those guys are getting older, but they got some young talent coming in. So the Ravens have been good defense, and I expect them to keep being a good defense. Solid defense there coming in number 5. Number 4 is going to be the Houston Texans. Number 1 defense last year in terms of yardage allowed. Did lose some key guys, including A.J. Bouye. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Forgot to mention that. A big addition for the Jaguars there in the secondary. But the Texans losing some guys, but they do get J.J. Watt back, arguably the best defensive player, maybe the best player in all of football. So getting him back, maybe that gets their turnovers back up, and maybe they can have a chance being number 1 defensive again because of the turnovers. We know they can stop teams from getting a lot of yards. Let's see if they do it again. They come in at number 4 with a very good defense. Number 3 defense it's a close one. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Very good defense. Obviously, a lot of talent, a lot of guys for years in Seattle making big plays. Just really across the board, a lot of depth at the defensive line position. Grabbing Malik McDowell when they didn't really need him. Too good to pass. If I had to just point out a hole, it would be the lack of corner depth. They really have Richard Sherman. They have a couple other guys that can play. A couple other guys that are coachable by that solid staff on the defensive side for the Seahawks, but they could get better there. That's maybe why they're not 1 or 2, but really just a ton of Pro Bowl players, a lot of skill on that defense. They're going to be good for a while still, and they have been good for a while. Coming in at number 2 is the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer's defense, very impressive last year. The main thing with the Vikings is there's no weaknesses, really balanced all the way through, and they're very young. That's my favorite thing about it. I mean, looking at guys that were already proven, Harrison Smith, Linval Joseph, Everson Griffin, Pro Bowl guys already proven. And then you got guys like Xavier Rhodes, who was arguably the best corner, one of the best corners in football last year, still on his rookie contract. And then their 2 linebackers who do a lot for that defense, Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks, playing at a high level, and they are still on their rookie contracts. So a lot of depth, a lot of young talent in that defense. Daniil Hunter, another guy, led all defensive ends in football in sacks. And he's a very young, solid player, athletic player. So a lot of talent, a lot of young talent on that defense. They come in at number 2. Number 1 is the Denver Broncos. 2 years ago, they won the Super Bowl because of that defense. Kind of an offensive league last year, so maybe they need to pick it up a little bit on offense, but that defense is solid all the way through. I'm a fan of having a stacked secondary, and the Broncos have a stacked secondary. So many guys that can play corner or safety for them. They got too many guys. You never can have too many, but they got so many guys that would just start on another team, and they're just rotation guys for the Broncos. But yeah, what is a secondary without pass rush? But they have that. Obviously, they got Von Miller, one of the best in the game, and plenty more guys. Maybe they weren't quite the same, losing Malik Jackson and Danny Trevathan, but still at the top. Those top three defenses, you can argue any of those are number 1 defense. Maybe even Houston too, even though they lost some guys. So very tight. I just really like the Broncos secondary. It's stacked, and they do have some pass rush to go along with it. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Let me see your top 10 defenses. There's teams that were left out of this that could be worthy of a top 10 vote. So let me hear what you guys got to say. And please stay tuned for the next video and like and subscribe. Got plenty more that's coming. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.